Morning radio the right way. It's nationwide this morning.
Coming up in the news at 6 this morning, Monday, August 5, 2024, one of Spanish Town's most wanted was killed in a weekend confrontation with the police. JFJ says jury sequestration in Jamaica is not a good idea. Bar Association calls for amendment to the Jury Act to facilitate judge-alone trials. In regional news, St. Vincent and the Grenadines confirms dengue outbreak. In international news, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigns and flees Bangladesh, ending 15-year rule. And in the sports report, all three Jamaican men advanced to the semifinals of the 400 meters at the Olympics. In business news, Virgin Atlantic to stop flying to the Bahamas in 2025.
Get ready for KB's Grand Back to School Fair and Concert on Saturday, August 10, 2024 at 31 East behind Portmore Town Centre. Enjoy special discounts on books and back to school supplies, in-store prices and surprises, plus free back to school medicals. As the sun sets, enjoy music from special guest artists hosted by the hilarious Johnny Daly. Mark your calendars and don't miss out on KB's Grand Back to School Fair and Concert starting at 10 a.m. See you there.
Discover something new. Discover the KB difference.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. One of the most wanted men in the St. Catherine North Division was among three people fatally shot in a confrontation with the police in Spanish Town on Sunday morning. He has been identified as Zimroy Geddes, also known as Zim. We have more in this report from Mahira Stewart.
Residents of Trial Heights in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, were awoken by the sound of gunshots at around 5:30 on Sunday morning. Reports are that at the time, a joint police-military team was on an operation in the area when they were met by gunfire. The lawmen returned the fire. Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Network, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says three men were fatally shot in the exchange, including Geddes.
Sometime about 5:30 today, there was a shooting incident where two illegal firearms were seized and some ammunition, and three persons died as a result of an exchange of gunfire between the security forces. One of the persons has been identified as one of St. Catherine North most wanted. Is Zimroy Geddes, otherwise called Zim. And he has been on the St. Catherine North wanted list for some time. Even about 3 weeks ago, he was featured on the JCF Wanted Wednesday page. One of the persons, they are waiting for some verification because he could be an individual who is wanted in the parish of St. Thomas, but they are waiting for confirmation with that.
SSP Lindsay says Geddes was not from Trial Heights. She explains that Sunday's intelligence-led operation was the result of an investigation into his whereabouts.
The shooting happened in the Trial Heights area. However, Zimroy, he's from the McVickers Lane area over on the other side of the parish. And in recent time, there have been a number of operations by the police to apprehend him. However, he remained very elusive. So intelligence took them to this particular location. Up to recently, they had a series of curfews trying to put things in place because of a recent upsurge of violence in that area, which is associated to his doing. So he's somebody that is known to the police. When they came today, the intention was to apprehend him. However, they chose not to make themselves available and surrender, resulting in a shooting incident. One of the police officers was also injured.
Meanwhile, head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, says multiple law enforcement teams have been deployed in the area to crack down on wanted individuals.
We have situated some teams around wanted persons of interest with the establishment of an AFAT, and we have joined the North and South Special Operations team. And so these teams are going right across Area 5. So the intensity is not just in St. Catherine North, but right across Area 5. There are some communities now that we have close watch on, We talk about places like Cassava Peace up there in St. Andrew North, Grandstand area, up in Lawrence Tavern area. In St. Thomas, we are also watching Seafort and Yalas and those other communities. So the teams are fully situated around wanted persons, persons of interest.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, ACP Phillips is appealing to those on the wanted list to surrender to the police. He's also calling on family members of those on the list to encourage them to turn themselves in.
So we have strengthened the intel apparatus as also the investigative thrust. The AFAT team certainly have those capabilities that we ensure. And I mean, the result so far is very good. Well, of course, we'd make another appeal, to persons who find themselves on the wanted list to surrender peacefully. Would prefer that, and we are again appealing for that. That is why we have Wanted Wednesday. We publish these persons who are on the wanted list. Would appeal to family members to, to try and talk these persons into turning themselves in to the police so that they can have their day in court.
ACP Christopher Phillips, head of the Police Area 5 Division. Director at Jamaicans for Justice JFJ and Attorney at Law Kenyatta Powell says sequestering jurors in Jamaica would be a bad move. Sequestration is the process of temporarily removing property from its possessor under the process of law. Speaking Friday evening on Nationwide at 5, Mr. Powell says sequestration would be unfair to the lives of jurors.
Ordinary people have lives. There might be a woman on the jury who has 3 children for whom she might be a single parent, or even if she isn't a single parent. So jurors have children. Jurors also have elderly parents that they must take care of. Sometimes they're taking care of elderly people who aren't their parents. It might be an aunt or an uncle or a friend of the family. Ordinary people have lives, and they have things going on in their lives. And I think that it would be grossly unfair to those people for us to have a system where sequestering them becomes more of the norm.
The recent acquittal of dancehall star Vybz Kartel and 3 men, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John, has again raised questions about whether or not the country's Jury Act needs to be amended. Mr. Powell says he does not see sequestering as a suitable fix to the issue of jury tampering.
You don't have to intimidate the juror specifically. You can intimidate a family member. You can intimidate a spouse, a child, right? So that I'm not sure that sequestering them would solve that problem unless what we say is that immediately when the trial starts, they're just going to be sequestered and they're not going to have any access to communications to the outside, so that they can't be alerted to the fact that maybe a member of the family is being threatened because of the work they're doing in the trial. So it would be too much of an imposition, I think, on the lives of ordinary people, and I don't think it would solve a lot of the problems that crop up when we talk about jury tampering.
Kenyatta Powell, JFJ Director and Attorney at Law. Meanwhile, Attorney at Law Clyde Williams says he would not support sequestration for all cases, but he believes it should be applied in certain situations.
I'd rather us have an option to do that rather than not have the option. Now, it may be we determine what would then trigger that option. And I would say only in exceptional circumstances we would trigger that option. So that would be clear how we draft that law. But I'd be happier, even if we use it only twice in 100 trials. But that trial could be a 7-day trial, a 2-week trial, a 4-week trial. But given the circumstances itself, it may be useful to do that.
Mr. Williams says amended legislation should ensure that sequestration is applied in specific scenarios.
I accept the arguments made by Kenyatta in relation to the difficulties practically and the imposition on families. I do accept those arguments, but I like a mixed bag of options, and I would say we should legislate it and make sure that how we legislate the threshold, the trigger, is one that would only happen in exceptional circumstances defined under statute. So that would be my position on it.
Clyde Williams, Attorney at Law, he was speaking last week on Nationwide at 5. The Jamaican Bar Association Jambar has added its voice to the call for an urgent amendment to the Jury Act to facilitate a trial by a judge alone if there is contamination of the jury as a result of bribery or attempted bribery. Amending the Jury Act once again came to the fore following the decision by the Court of Appeal to acquit dancehall star Vibes Cartel and three men, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John. Contamination of the jury pool was a major issue in the prolonged trial and was a significant factor in the decision by the UK-based Privy Council to send the case back to the Court of Appeal for a determination on whether there should be an acquittal or a new trial. The president of Jambar, Kevin Powell, says the amendment should happen as soon as possible.
Amending the Jury Act to allow for judge-only trials in the event a jury must be discharged due to contamination of the jury pool that arises either from a bribe or an attempted bribe of a juror is clearly a matter of significant importance and public interest. I think it would obviously be desirable for such amendments as well as any other amendments which may be considered in the context of a review of the Jury Act to be done in the shortest possible time.
Meanwhile, the Jambar president says discussions have taken place with the Justice Minister Delroy Chuck about the issue. He says Jambar stands ready to lend support to the amendment of the legislation.
I can say that in a discussion I had with the Minister of Justice, the Minister gave his commitment to having the necessary amendments done as part of a wider review of the legislation and to have those completed in the shortest possible time. I had confirmed then with the Minister that the Bar Association stands ready, willing and able to offer any assistance in relation to this important legislative review. That remains our position, and we will certainly continue to engage with the Minister and the Ministry to bring this issue to the earliest possible resolution.
Kevin Powell, President of Jambar. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council NRSC, Dr. Lucian Jones, is reiterating calls for safe road use. This comes in light of a fatal crash in Trelawney on Sunday morning that left 4 people dead. Dr. Jones says the incident has caused the total number of road fatalities for August to double just 4 days into the month.
As Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, it is with great distress that in this time of independence and emancipation, I have to report to the nation that based on police reports, an absolute disaster took place in Braco this morning in broad daylight when a Probox ran into a truck going up a hill and 4 people died, 2 males and 2 females. The driver died. How this happened is going to be the subject of an investigation, but this is absolutely horrendous, which means that for the month of August, 8 people have already died and a total of 236 people have died for the year.
Dr. Jones says incidents like the one in Trelawney on Sunday morning reinforce his call for a public education campaign in order to remind motorists about how to use roads safely.
This comes against a background of a significant reduction in both June and July of road fatalities. This was unexpected, and it means that all hands will have to be on deck to warn our people about driving carefully, not only during the independence celebration, but for the rest of the year. We really have to take this road safety seriously. Far too many of our people are dying needlessly. This does not have to happen. It means that we have to redouble our efforts to warn people about speeding, to warn people about driving carefully on the roads, to wear their seatbelts, to wear their helmets. Do not drink and drive. It can cause madness on the roads. Do not smoke marijuana and drive. We have to say these things time and time and time again in order to protect the nation.
Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. As the country continues the post-Hurricane Beryl recovery exercise, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is reporting that its cleanup activities have surpassed the 90% mark as there was an intense focus on bulky waste. Executive Director of the NSWMA, Audley Gordon, told our news center that while pockets of cleaning up activities are taking place in several communities, most areas that were badly affected by Beryl, most areas that were struggling with a garbage pileup in the aftermath of burial have now been dealt with.
In terms of bulky waste as a result of the burial, that you're talking about tree trunks, you're talking about anything that the wind would have carried from one place to another, creating an unsightly mess. We would say we have cleared up all those with the exception of a few little small pockets. In terms of the regular bulky waste, that is where we will have a more extended operation for, because then you're going to talk about the entire island, every nook and cranny, and that will take some time. But in terms of the post-burial waste, we are satisfied with how that is going, and we believe that, save and except in a few small pockets, we would have removed, I would probably want to hazard that gets up into 96-97% of the buried waste.
Mr. Gordon says parts of Manchester, St. Elizabeth and Clarendon, which were hardest hit by burial, are still the focus of attention by the NSWMA. He says several units have been making multiple trips throughout communities in those parishes so that as much clearance as possible can take place in the shortest possible time. He says it's important to continue the removal of waste from burial in order to prevent the spread of mosquito-borne diseases.
We have moved now into a bulky waste and derelict removal program, because the bulky waste and derelict vehicles, they usually harbor water when it rains, and that also contributes to your dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. So we are doing heavy cleaning in those areas now. We were in Clarendon with a massive cleanup over 3 days, southern Clarendon. That went very well. I can tell you that we did pull over 100 loads of bulky waste out of Clarendon in the special operation, and that is to be added now to the other smaller operations that are going on.
Local segment of the news ending there with Oli Gordon, Executive Director of the NSWMA.
Shop with Hilo, it's so easy, no hassle, no more online. Shop with Hilo, Hilo online delivers to your door. Safe and secure with your online, debit or credit card, pay online. And if you're busy all day, Hilo makes it easy.
Now you can download the Hilo app, visit HiloFoodStoresJA.com and pay for your foods online using a debit or credit card, locally or overseas, and have them delivered from selected locations in Jamaica.
Hilo, it's so easy, pay and it's done with Hilo online. Shop with Hilo, Hilo at your fingertips.
At Design Privacy, we value relationships. Join our exclusive open DPO community and interact with privacy professionals. Share ideas, insightful challenges, and build career-boosting connections with expert advice at your fingertips. Get access to specialized tools, exclusive workshops, and case studies. Enjoy unparalleled networking. Join Design Privacy's open DPO community to expand your expertise and excel in your career. Visit opendpocommunity.com today and take your data privacy skills to the next level.
Regional news now. Health authorities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines confirmed an outbreak of dengue fever on the weekend. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment says its epidemiology unit has recorded 119 cases of dengue fever so far in 2024. Of these cases, 23 were reported in June and 82 in July. The ministry says based on the epidemiological data, the number of lab-confirmed cases of dengue fever has exceeded the expected threshold. The previous outbreak 3 years ago claimed at least 7 lives. Further afield, Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned on Monday, ending 15 years in power, as thousands of protesters defied a military curfew and stormed her official residence. Shortly after local media showed the embattled leader boarding a military helicopter with her sister, Bangladesh's military chief announced plans to seek the president's guidance on forming an interim government. He promised that the military would stand down and launch an investigation into the deadly crackdowns that fueled outrage against the government. The protests began peacefully as frustrated students demanded an end to a quota system for government jobs, but the demonstrations have since morphed into an unprecedented challenge and uprising against Sheikh Hasina and her ruling Awami League party. That's the news.
Jamaica, it's here again. Phosphorage Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. Come get your wires, breakers, solar flood lamps, LED bulbs, ceiling fans, and so much more. Call 876-937-5099 or visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, Draxall, and Montego Bay. Up to 60% off this summer. Get your solar panels starting from $17,600. Come shop, come save at Phosphorage Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. See you there at Phosphorage, open Sundays.
The best Burger King with the best tasting burger under the sun. You deserve the best, you are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome, that's how we serve it. Mama menu done your way. You got the taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
Getting a loan is quick and easy with ISP Finance Services. It's simple and prompt. Our payment plan is flexible. Call ISP Finance Services for your loan. We make getting a loan easier.
Time now for sports. Jamaica's Jaheel Hyde, Rashawn Clark and Malik James King all advanced to the semifinals of the men's 400 meters hurdles at the Paris Olympics. Commonwealth silver medalist Hyde booked his place after finishing second in Heat 1 in 49.08 seconds. 2022 World Under-20 champion Clark won Heat 4 in 48.17, with national champion James King winning Heat 5 in 48.21. Meanwhile, Stacey Ann Williams ran a season's best 50.16 to advance to the semis of the women's 400 meters. National champion Nikisha Price won Heat 2 in 50.02 and Janelle Bromfield was third in Heat 6 in 51.36. All three have qualified for the semifinals. Meanwhile, Travis Smichael, Roger Stoner and Rolford Mullings all advanced to the final of the men's discus. Smichael's best throw was 65.91 meters, Stoner 65.31 and Mullings 65.18 meters. Meanwhile, President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Chris Samuda, says despite the disappointment in the 100 and 800 meters, Jamaica's campaign in Paris continues with admirable courage and commitment being shown by the athletes.
Months, years of hard work and sacrifice come dramatically together in seconds in the 100 meters and a minute plus in the 800 meters, with really no room for errors. And this simply reinforces why our athletes continue to earn our admiration and respect. Achievements bring smiles and personal validation, and targets not met may bring disappointment, but never defeat. And this is the resilience of which we are made, and the guts that we must have. Disappointed, but never defeated.
That's President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Christopher Samuda. Arnett Gardens are CFU Club Shield champions after beating Grenades FC of Antigua and Barbuda 1-0 in the final on Sunday. With the result, Arnett will be placed in Group A of the 2024 CONCACAF Caribbean Cup alongside Mount Pleasant Academy, Cavalier, Real Hope of Haiti and Police FC of Trinidad and Tobago. West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews has welcomed the decision by Deandra Dottin to return to international cricket. Dottin recently expressed her enthusiasm to return to the international game in a letter to Cricket West Indies. The 33-year-old Barbadian stunned fans in 2022 when she announced her retirement from the game. However, Matthews says Dottin will give 100% to the Windies cause after her retirement U-turn.
I think with Deandra, one thing I can say for sure is she is someone who, when she steps onto the field, she is going to give 100% every single time. And obviously it's quite fresh news. I think it's quite fresh news for us as well. I do plan and want to have discussions with her and with the team as well. Obviously that's really important, and I think that's the most important thing for us right now. And I guess until I've had those conversations, I probably prefer not to make any more comments, but at the same time I would be happy to in a couple of weeks. But like I said, look, she's someone who's always going to be able to be there to give 100% on the field no matter what.
That's Windies women's captain Hayley Matthews. That's the sports.
Hello! Jamaica's premier EV charging network presents its third EV link-up. Join us on Saturday, September 7th at Morris Fish and Jerk House in Clarendon for an afternoon of fun, food, and all things electric. It's all happening from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Come see the latest EVs on display, take a test drive, and enter for a chance to win amazing prizes. DM at Evergo_JM on social media to RSVP so that you can enjoy the full event experience. Don't miss out on the Evergo EV link-up. See you there!
As the world gathers to celebrate the spirit of competition and excellence at the Olympics, Imperial Optical invites you to see the games with perfect vision. Their range of high-quality eyewear ensures that every moment, every triumph, and every motion is crystal clear. Your vision is their expertise. Let Imperial Optical bring the clear vision of the Olympics to you. Visit their website to book your appointment today. www.imperialja.com.
Time for the business news. British carrier Virgin Atlantic will end flights to the Bahamas early next year, just 2 years after introducing flights to the country. The airline's final flight will be on February 23, 2025. While it's ending flights to the Bahamas, it will increase flights to Barbados and Antigua and Barbuda. According to the airline, the decision follows a review of its destinations and reflects a desire to optimize its network. Virgin Atlantic began twice-weekly services to the Bahamas from London's Heathrow Airport in November 2021. Japan's benchmark stock index plunged at 12.4% on Monday, compounding a global market rout set off by investor concerns that the U.S. economy could be headed for recession. A report on Friday showing that hiring by U.S. employers slowed last month by much more than expected has convulsed financial markets. The shakeup began just a couple of days after U.S. stock indices had jumped to their best day in months after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell set the stage for possible rate cuts to begin in September. But after Friday's jobs report, worries are rising that the Fed may have kept its main interest rate at a two-decade high for too long, raising risks of a recession in the world's largest economy. A rate cut would make it less expensive for U.S. households and companies to borrow money, but it could take time for the effects to boost the economy. And in foreign currency trading, the US dollar should sell for $157.74 when trading opens today. The Canadian will go for $115.17. Meanwhile, the British pound sterling should sell for $203.56. That's the business news.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:27.
I only have Hanes. Make yourself comfortable in authentic Hanes underwear. Nothing beats the never out of style ultra soft 100% premium cotton Hanes underwear. Hanes Comfort Fit V, crew neck and A shirts, absorbent Hanes socks, Comfort Flex Hanes boxer briefs for men, and stylish itch-free Hanes underwear for women and kids. Make yourself comfortable this holiday season, inside, out, and underneath with Hanes underwear for that cool all-day comfort everyone deserves.
I only have Hanes for you.
At Design Privacy, we value relationships. Join our exclusive open DPO community and interact with privacy professionals. Share ideas, insightful challenges, and build career-boosting connections with expert advice at your fingertips. Get access to specialized tools, exclusive workshops, and case studies. Enjoy unparalleled networking. Join Design Privacy's open DPO community to expand your expertise and excel in your career. Visit opendpocommunity.com today and take your data privacy skills to the next level.
Have you ever been to a store and felt right at home? The minute you entered, you knew that's where you were meant to be. Picture it. The dedicated one staff greet you with a smile, show exceptional professionalism, and still make you feel like family. Everything is catered to you. You know you're getting the best because to them, you're the best. That's the New Walters Pharmacy, 18 High Street, Black River. Call 965-2264 or 476-3939. The New Walters Pharmacy. Pharmacy, everything exceptional.
A time to double up your savings. These are the boosts that you've been awaiting. Put it towards the dreams you've been chasing. Double up your savings. Double up.
Save so you can win in the Jan Bank Double Up Your Savings promotion. You could be one of 5 lucky quarterly winners to walk away with double the money you put in your savings account. Conditions apply.
Double up your savings.
Check our website and social media for details. Jan Bank will help you find a way. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Sip into the brightness of summer with Starbucks. Relax and enjoy a variety of Starbucks refreshers or indulge in a Frappuccino. We have something new for you every season. Try our new Lavender White Mocha Frappuccino at your nearest store. We are located in Kingston, Portmore, Ocho Rios, and Montego Bay. For more information, visit our Instagram at Starbucks Jamaica.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere, spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
Love and hate can never be friends. Oh no, oh no. Here I come with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Envy no one, no wish to be with no evil man. For there'll come the day when you'll be whipped by the feathers and live up good children. Oh yeah, live up past the children. Yeah. My head is
It's 6:33. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, our nationwide family, of course. For those of you, you're at home or you're on your way to work, brewing your coffee, boiling your tea, or you just aside my pass that already not come to watch the Olympics this morning. Good morning to you. My name is Saeed Bernard.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
How are you, Siobhan?
Doing quite well, considering the unfortunacy of the hour.
The unfortunate. Welcome to the
my
morning.
bed sleeping, honestly.
Welcome to the morning time, Siobhan. This is where we get the business done. This is where we get nationwide started, and that is the momentum that you feel down in the evening. It's all because we did it all up here from 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so get used to it.
I can't get used to this again. It's just too out of my system.
Too out of your system?
But when duty calls, you don't back away from it.
Well, that's what I said about 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. Every time I came into the studio, I wanted to off myself. I was like, I'm over this. Just to get up in the mornings and then to go in the car and to drive here. In fact, when I just started, I was taking taxi to come to work 5 o'clock in the morning, so you can imagine. Yeah, but now it's just the perfect time. It feels natural. It feels right. And then when I recognize that people like you have to feed off our energy down in the evening time, it's just all the better.
You make us sound almost parasitical on the evening tea.
Well, I mean, you said it, not me.
So you said it, not me, Mr. Bernard.
You said it, not me. But Siobhan, the Olympics again. Over the weekend, especially yesterday, thrilling match. One of the fastest 100-meter times we've ever seen. Of course, fastest 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place, 8th place. To run 9.91, for example, and come 8th. That's a very fast time. First of its kind, actually. I was watching the commentators and they were saying it's a very fast race. And, I just want to take this time out to big up Kishane Thompson and Oblique Seville. Those men have defended our country very well. They have allowed for Jamaicans once more to be excited for 100-meter finals, Siobhan. It's been quite a number of years that people have not been this excited. They've not been this in tune with the male 100-meter race. But yesterday, every single person was. I think a lot of streaming crashed, if you will. But that race told me something. It reminded me, first of all, of Usain Bolt in 2007, when he came second to Tyson gained that 200-meter race. And you know what happened after that.
Come back and win the world record, yes.
You know what happened after that. Usain Bolt, when he came second to Tyson gained that 200-meter race. On his face, you can go back and watch the clip, he was disappointed. But even when he spoke thereafter, he was focused. And when that happened yesterday, Siobhan, what came to mind was that race from 2007. And I said to myself, if Kishane Thompson stays healthy, he will be in a competition only with himself. The dominance is there. The power is there. And he can go on to have a stretch of dominance as did Usain Bolt after 2007. So I'm not worried. I'm not sad. This is his first Olympic Championships. And for your first one to come in and come second is a major accomplishment. Major accomplishment. And to put that more into perspective, Kishane is very young. He has the power. He has the ability to self-reflect, to introspect. That interview that he did with Nationwide's Wayne Walker, then the interview that he did as well with TVJ's Jordan Fort, told me that this is a man who knows what he's about. He's dedicated to the craft, and he's even more hungry. And we can't be sore losers. Noah Lyles won. But what stood out to me when Noah Lyles did the press conference with the other two, Kishane and Fred Curley, he said when the race was finished, he went over to Kishane and he was saying, you got this one. Because the race was so close. They clocked the same time. Difference is by 1,000th of a second. But they clocked the same time. That even Noah Lyles thought he lost that race. That's no smoke. A win is a win, yes, and we give you that. But that's no smoke. That's not anything comfortable to win by. And again, a win is a win. A gold medal is a gold medal. But if I am him, I am scared. Because you had to run your personal best to edge by a torso to get the gold medal. I'm scared for what the 100-meter finals will be looking like for years to come if Kishane Thompson stays healthy. I want to talk this morning as well about Oblique Seville. Very humble, very nice guy. And I just want Oblique to know you might not have medaled this time around, but Jamaica still supports you. Jamaica still loves you. You've done your best. And all we want for you now, Oblique, is to recover from that groin injury that you're feeling. That's what we really want right now. Because Oblique, you might not have medaled, but you've medaled in the eyes of Jamaicans. Because before Kishane Thompson came on the scene, you were carrying Jamaica's male 100 meters on your back. And I don't want Jamaicans to forget that with their short memories. He was carrying Jamaica on his back in the 100-meter races. And now he has some help. He has his Batman, Kishane, to help carry him over the line. And so, Oblique, we're wishing all the best for you. And I know Oblique will come back, and he will come back even stronger. What I like about Oblique and Kishane is that they're focused. They're not easily drawn into the dramatics of what other athletes portray. They're focused on the race, focused on the craft, and they do their best when the time comes. That's what they do. And of course, those two men coming from the greatest coaches of all time, if you ask me, Glenn Mills, Oblique Seville, and Kishane Thompson coming from the Steve Francis camp. Yeah? Great coaches. Of course, they're in the best of hands, I think. They're in the best of hands. So, there is that. And again, the 100-meter women's final that happened on Saturday. First of all, the organizers of the Paris Olympics have questions to answer. Because how do you change a rule the day before, the night before, and expect people to know it? You have not communicated it with people. You haven't ensured that every single person knows it. And so, Sha'Carri Richards, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, two of the hottest sprint athletes in the world in the women's 100 and 200. They did not stay in the Olympics village, for the athletes village, for whatever reason. And again, Siobhan, based on the experiences that we're hearing of with the Olympics village, I would understand why some would opt not to stay in the athletes village, yes? This rule is now changed. And it's only when these two athletes got to the requisite gate that they're being told of this rule. I'm told that they had to walk for several minutes to go up top there in order to walk back down before they had the ability to start their warm-up. I don't know what kind of organization that is. And I'm not going to posture and say that's the reason why Shelley had to pull out. But I also can't wrong others to assume that might have affected her in warming up and getting ready for the race. But nonetheless, Jamaicans are very happy. Very, very happy this morning. Because Julian Alfred spent 3 years with us here in Jamaica, went to St. Catherine High School, participated in our champs. She did her interviews when she was running in champs and said, she just wants to do her best for her country. And she went out there and she did her thing. She smoked in that 100-meter final, Siobhan. She did her thing and she brought home the gold for that beautiful island of St. Lucia. And Jamaicans are proud of her because we can identify two things with her. One, She studied in Jamaica, participated in the best high school championships in the world, and she's now gone on the big stage to win it. And even in winning, in her interview, she will tell you that Jamaica played a part in that. So that's one. And two, Jamaicans are happy because she came and beat out the US, frankly speaking. And so we're happy for Julian Alfred this morning. She's just wonderful. And again, big up our ladies, Shelley and Fraser Price, Sharika Jackson, Elaine Thompson Hero, wherever they are. Big them up, because we know they'll come back stronger. But yeah, those are the two big events that have been on my mind over the last weekend. And for sure, there's more to come forward, Siobhan. 3 males for the first time making it into the finals of a field event. Something to look forward to there. And might I say, Siobhan, that the dominance that you're seeing by Jamaicans in field events now, it's not going to stop there. And before I wrap out, I have to speak about this straw, Rajindra. Came third. Yeah? Is it the hammer or the discus?
I think it was the discus.
The discus, right. Came third in the discus behind 2 Americans, Kovac and another. And those 2 men, by the way, they have been dominating discus throwing. For our Jamaican there to step into 3rd place in that elite field, that is a major accomplishment. Major accomplishment. Notwithstanding the fact that he was working at Pizza Hut while having to train. Notwithstanding the fact that as early as March thereabout, he was thinking of giving up on this thing, because it was hard to be working. March, May, it was the shot put. It was so hard to be working and training for the shot put. And as early as May, or as late as you'll call it, he was ready to give up. That for me is a story of inspiration, Siobhan. Because to be doing all of that and still come in the Olympics and medal, it's a major accomplishment. And I'm hoping that when he returns, that our corporate sponsors are lining up to give him the necessary support he needs. To have brought Jamaica and its flag on that podium in that event while working a 9 to 5, imagine what he can do if he's able to focus and spend all his time and energy on the craft. That man deserves more than a medal. And I just want to use this morning to inspire Jamaicans not to give up on your dreams. Do not give up on your dreams at all. It might be hard. Just like our athlete there, he had to work a 9 to 5 and a train. Something might be hard for you right now. You have a goal and it just seems out of sight, or it's just taking a toll on your body. I want to draw on his example this morning. Do not give up. Do not give up, because you never know when you'll get your medal.
Live on in time forever. Those dreams you want with all your heart, and I'll do whatever it takes
The Ministry of Justice offers free counseling to victims of crime. Call 876-946-0663. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:49.
We all have a champion spirit, a uniquely Jamaican spirit. We think the unthinkable and reach for the unreachable. The steady pulse of greatness beats in us all. As powerful as we are, there comes a time when everybody needs a strength. Something to take you over that last hurdle and across the finish line. Your moment is now. Unstoppable with NCB.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486 to 7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Jamaica, it's here again. Fosridge Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. Come get your wires, breakers, solar flood lamps, LED bulbs, ceiling fans, and so much more. Call 876-937-5099 or visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, Draxall, and Montego Bay. Up to 60% off the summer. Get your solar panels starting from $17,600. Come shop, come save at Fosridge Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. See you there at Fosridge. Open Sundays.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
It's 6:51 and time for Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, is that Shiva?
Yes, it is.
Oh, morning, sir. Morning to you and morning to Council. Morning.
Good morning, Ludlow. Good morning.
Oh, yeah, sports fan, you know. Yeah, like you love that.
Well, I didn't know the sports that well, you know, and I thought George would be here this morning to do the sports roundup. But, you know, we have to pull up on the task, eh?
Nevertheless, you did, you know, maybe because of that experience, yeah. As council. But just a quick comment, gentlemen. I tell you, there was an accident yesterday, and boy, I tell you, it's a tragedy. I guess you'd have seen it on this. But Trelawney again, because I passed school early in the week, yes, heading to Falmouth and leaving Falmouth, 2 separate accidents, and now this one again yesterday. But the driving a normal gentleman. Overtaking, and is not everybody are experts in terms of overtaking, and the judgment, I always say, must be impeccable. So you just drive within your normal speed, because sometimes the people on the other side is not willing to ease up, and then you get yourself into problem. But at this time of the morning, I saw people would have been leaving Mandela a little bit earlier, so you find the Mandela was quite busy on the eastern side. Then when you take Spanish Town Road, there is a number of vehicles heading there towards 3 miles. So in the 3 miles there, quite busy, quite active as you make your way to that 3 miles area. Now going by the overpass at 3 miles, that's easier, but once you go on there, you're going to have a build-up because some of that traffic is heading onto Hadley Park Road, which is eastbound, and then westbound, some heading towards Marcus Garvey Drive, which is southbound, and then going further down Spanish Town Road, you have a number of vehicles going. But that area is quite busy. But once you cross that area, Marcus Garvey Drive is free flowing all the way heading towards Harbour Street. You won't have much of a problem there. And on that eastern side, going out to like places like Port Manly Meadows and all of that, it's really free flowing. So at this time of the morning, I imagine that also the boulevard has traffic too. Once Spanish Town Road is busy, you're going to have the Washington Boulevard also busy. It's bright and sunny. So if you're on the western side heading east, the sun is going to obscure your vision. So be careful. And remember, Moses, drive within the 5 speed limit. It's back to you. It's back to you.
Thank you, Ludlow, for that morning update.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day is spelled Lethargic. That's Lethargic.
Lethargic. Lethargic. Lethargic.
Your word of the day is lethargic. It's an adjective. It means to be drowsy, sluggish, or apathetic. Yeah? To use it in a sentence, Siobhan, are you feeling lethargic this morning?
I suppose so. He says that word was definitely for me. Very well.
Wake up, Siobhan, wake up! Anyways, that's your word of the day, lethargic. It's an adjective meaning drowsy, sluggish, or apathetic. We have up next your features. At the top of the hour, we have the news.
Living Well is brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
On Living Well today, constipation. Constipation is one of those topics few like to talk about. If you've suffered from this problem, though, you know it can be both painful and frustrating. Almost everyone gets constipated at some time during his or her life. It affects approximately 2% of the population in most countries. Women and the elderly are more commonly affected. Though not usually serious, constipation can be a concern. Constipation occurs when bowel movements become difficult or less frequent. The normal length of time between bowel movements ranges widely from person to person. Some people have bowel movements 3 times a day. Others, only 1 or 2 times a week. Going longer than 3 days without a bowel movement is too long. After 3 days, the stool or feces become harder and more difficult to pass. You are considered constipated if you have 2 or more of the following for at least 3 months. Straining during a bowel movement more than 25% of the time. Hard stools more than 25% of the time. Incomplete evacuation more than 25% of the time. 2 or fewer bowel movements in a week. Constipation is usually caused by a disorder of bowel function rather than a structural problem. Common causes of constipation include inadequate water intake, inadequate fiber in the diet, a disruption of regular diet or routine, traveling, inadequate activity or exercise or immobility, eating large amounts of dairy products, stress, resisting the urge to have a bowel movement, which is sometimes the result of pain from hemorrhoids, overuse of laxatives, stimulant laxatives such as Senna or Senokot, which over time weaken the bowel muscles. There are several things you can do to prevent constipation. Among them, eat a well-balanced diet with plenty of fiber. Good sources of fiber are fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grain breads and cereals, especially bran. Fiber and water help the colon pass stool. Drink 1.5 to 2 quarts of water and other fluids a day, unless fluid restricted for another medical condition. Liquids that contain caffeine, such as coffee and soft drinks, seem to have a dehydrating effect and may need to be avoided until your bowel habits return to normal. Some people may need to avoid milk, as dairy products may be constipating for them. Exercise regularly. Move your bowels when you feel the urge. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for Shin Splints.
Living Well was brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
You're moving into a new apartment for the first time. If you're uncertain what to do, I've got you covered. Hi, I'm Tana, and it's time for your lifestyle pages. When you get to your new apartment, walk around and observe your surroundings. Get to know the place. Inside your apartment, use damp newspaper to clean all your mirrors. It leaves a nice shine. Check to see how many electrical outlets are in your space. Then you will know if you need to purchase any extension cords. Give your bathroom a full cleaning because bathroom tiles might be dirty, among other things. Check for internet connections. If there's none, visit your internet service provider. We can't live without the Wi-Fi. Buy wallpaper, but not to use for your wall, but actually in your drawers. And never forget those mothballs. Gotta ward off those insects while you keep your clothes fresh. And remember to make the space your own. Hang your curtains and give each room personality. That's all for now on your lifestyle pages. I'm Tana.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Monday, August 5, 2024, one of Spanish Town's most wanted killed in weekend confrontation with the police. JFJ says jury sequestration in Jamaica is not a good idea. Bar Association calls for amendment to the Jury Act to facilitate judge-alone trials. In international news, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigns and flees Bangladesh, ending 15-year rule.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. One of the most wanted men in the St. Catherine North Division was among 3 people shot fatally in a confrontation with the police in Spanish Town on Sunday morning. He has been identified as Zimroy Geddes, also known as Zim. Mahira Stewart has more.
Residents of Trial Heights in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, were awoken by the sound of gunshots at around 5:30 on Sunday morning. Reports are that at the time, a joint police-military team was on an operation in the area when they were met by gunfire. The lawmen returned the fire. Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Network, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says 3 men were fatally shot in the exchange, including Geddes.
Sometime about 5:30 today, there was a shooting incident where 2 illegal firearms were seized and some ammunition, and 3 persons died as a result of an exchange of gunfire between the security forces. One of the persons has been identified as one of St. Catherine North most wanted. Is Zimroy Geddes, otherwise called Zim. And he has been on the St. Catherine North wanted list for some time. Even about 3 weeks ago, he was featured on the JCF Wanted Wednesday page. One of the persons, they are waiting for some verification because he could be an individual who is wanted in the parish of St. Thomas, but they are waiting for confirmation with that.
SSP Lindsay says Geddes was not from Trial Heights. She explains that Sunday's intelligence-led operation was the result of an investigation into his whereabouts.
The shooting happened in the Trial Heights area. However, Zimroy, he's from the MacVickers Lane area over on the other side of the parish. And in recent time, there have been a number of operations by the police to apprehend him. However, he remained very elusive. So intelligence took them to this particular location. Up to recently, they had a series of curfews trying to put things in place because of a recent upsurge of violence in that area, which is associated to his doing. So he's somebody that is known to the police. When they came today, the intention was to apprehend him. However, they chose not to make themselves available and surrender, resulting in a shooting incident. One of the police officers was also injured.
Meanwhile, head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, says multiple law enforcement teams have been deployed in the area to crack down on wanted individuals.
We have situated some teams around wanted persons of interest with the establishment of an AFAT, and we have joined the North and South Special Operations team. And so these teams are going right across Area 5. So the intensity is not just in St. Catherine North, but right across Area 5. There are some communities now that we have close watch on. We talk about places like Cassava Peace up there in St. Andrew North, Grandstand area, up in Lawrence Tavern area. In St. Thomas, we are also watching Seafort and Yalas and those other communities. So the teams are fully situated around wanted persons of interest.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, ACP Phillips is appealing to those on the wanted list to surrender to the police. He is also calling on family members of those on the list to encourage them to turn themselves in.
So we have strengthened the intel apparatus as also the investigative thrust. The AFAT team certainly have those capabilities that we ensure. And I mean, the results so far is very good. Well, of course, would make another appeal, to persons who find themselves on the wanted list to surrender peacefully. Would prefer that, and we are again appealing for that. That is why we have Wanted Wednesday. We publish these persons who are on the wanted list. Would appeal to family members to, to try and talk these persons into turning themselves in to the police so that they can have their day in court.
ACP Christopher Phillips, head of the Police Area 5 Division. Director at Jamaicans for Justice JFJ and Attorney at Law Kenyatta Powell says sequestering jurors in Jamaica is not a good idea. Sequestration is the process of isolating a jury to avoid exposing them to outside influence or information that is not admissible in court. Speaking Friday evening on Nationwide at 5, Mr. Powell says the move would be unfair to jurors.
Ordinary people have lives. There might be a woman on the jury who has 3 children for whom she might be a single parent, or even if she isn't a single parent. So jurors have children. Jurors also have elderly parents that they must take care of. Sometimes they're taking care of elderly people who aren't their parents. It might be an aunt or an uncle or a friend of the family. Ordinary people have lives, and they have things going on in their lives. And I think that it would be grossly unfair to those people for us to have a system where sequestering them becomes more of the norm.
The recent acquittal of dancehall star Vybz Kartel and 3 men, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John, has again raised questions about whether or not the country's Jury Act needs to be amended. Mr. Powell says sequestration is not a suitable solution.
You don't have to intimidate the juror specifically. You can intimidate a family member. You can intimidate a spouse, a child, right? So that I'm not sure that sequestering them would solve that problem unless what we say is that immediately when the trial starts, they're just going to be sequestered and they're not going to have any access to communications to the outside, so that they can't be alerted to the fact that maybe a member of the family is being threatened because of the work they're doing in the trial. So it would be too much of an imposition, I think, on the lives of ordinary people, and I don't think it would solve a lot of the problems that crop up when we talk about jury tampering.
Kenyatta Powell, JFJ Director and Attorney at Law. Meanwhile, another Attorney at Law, Clyde Williams, says while he would not support mandatory sequestration for all cases, he believes it should be allowed in certain circumstances.
I'd rather us have an option to do that rather than not have the option. Now, it may be we determine what would then trigger that option. And I would say only in exceptional circumstances we would trigger that option. So that would be clear how we draft that law. But I'd be happier, even if we use it only twice in 100 trials. But that trial could be a 7-day trial, a 2-week trial, a 4-week trial. But given the circumstances itself, it may be useful to do that.
Clyde Williams, Attorney at Law, he was speaking last week on Nationwide at 5. And the Jamaican Bar Association, JAMBAR, has added its voice to the call for the Jury Act to be amended to facilitate judge-alone trials if juries are deemed to be contaminated. The subject has again come to the fore following the decision by the Court of Appeal to acquit dancehall star Adidja Palmer and, dancehall star Vybz Kartel and 3 of his former co-accused Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John. Contamination of the jury pool was a major issue in the matter and led to the decision by the Privy Council to remit the case to the Jamaican Court of Appeal to determine whether there should be an acquittal or a new trial. President of JAMBAR, Kevin Powell, says the amendment should be done in the shortest possible time.
Amending the Jury Act to allow for judge-only trials in the event a jury must be discharged due to contamination of the jury pool that arises either from a bribe or an attempted bribe of a juror is clearly a matter of significant importance and public interest. I think it would obviously be desirable for such amendments as well as any other amendments which may be considered in the context of a review of the Jury Act to be done in the shortest possible time.
The Jambar president says the association has already had discussions with, has already opened discussions with the Justice Minister, Delroy Chuck.
I can say that in a discussion I had with the Minister of Justice, the Minister gave his commitment to having the necessary amendments done as part of a wider review of the legislation and to have those completed in the shortest possible time. I had confirmed then with the Minister that the Bar Association stands ready, willing and able to offer any assistance in relation to this important legislative review. That remains our position, and we will certainly continue to engage with the Minister and the Ministry to bring this issue to the earliest possible resolution.
Kevin Powell, President of the Jamaican Bar Association. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, NRSC, Dr. Lucian Jones, is reiterating calls for safe road use. This comes in light of a fatal crash in Trelawney on Sunday morning that left 4 people dead. Dr. Jones says the incident has caused the number of road fatalities for August to double just 4 days into the month.
As Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, it is with great distress that in this time of independence and emancipation, I have to report to the nation that based on police reports, an absolute disaster took place in Braco this morning in broad daylight when a Probox ran into a truck going up a hill and 4 people died, 2 males and 2 females. The driver died. How this happened is going to be the subject of an investigation, but this is absolutely horrendous, which means that for the month of August, 8 people have already died and a total of 236 people have died for the year.
Dr. Jones is repeating his call for a public education campaign to remind motorists how to use the roads safely.
This comes against a background of a significant reduction in both June and July of road fatalities. This was unexpected, and it means that all hands will have to be on deck to warn our people about driving carefully, not only during the independence celebration, but for the rest of the year. We really have to take this road safety seriously. Far too many of our people are dying needlessly. This does not have to happen. It means that we have to redouble our efforts to warn people about speeding, to warn people about driving carefully on the roads, to wear your seatbelts, to wear your helmets. Do not drink and drive. It can cause madness on the roads. Do not smoke marijuana and drive. We have to say these things time and time again in order to protect the nation.
Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. As the country continues the post-Hurricane Beryl recovery, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is reporting that it has removed upwards of 90% of the bulky waste left behind by the storm. Executive Director of the NSWMA, Audrey Gordon, told our news center that while cleaning is continuing in pockets, most areas have been cleared.
In terms of bulky waste as a result of the Beryl, that you're talking about tree trunks, you're talking about anything that the wind would have carried from one place to another, creating an unsightly mess, we would say we have cleared up all those with the exception of a few little small pockets. In terms of the regular bulky waste, that is where we will have a more extended operation for, because then you're going to talk about the entire island, every nook and cranny, and that will take some time. But in terms of the post-Beryl waste, we are satisfied with how that is going, and we believe that, save and except in a few small pockets, we would have removed, I would probably want to hazard that gets up into 96-97% of the buried waste.
Mr. Gordon says Manchester, St. Elizabeth and Clarendon, which were hardest hit by Beryl, are still the agency's focus of attention. He says several NSWMA units have been making multiple trips throughout communities in those parishes. He says the continuous removal of waste is important to help prevent any spread of mosquito-borne diseases.
We are now into a bulky waste and derelict removal program, because the bulky waste and derelict vehicles they usually harbor water when it rains, and that also contributes to your dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. So we are doing heavy cleaning in those areas now. We were in Clarendon with a massive cleanup over 3 days, southern Clarendon. That went very well. I can tell you that we did pull over 100 loads of bulky waste out of Clarendon in the special operation, and that is to be added now to the other smaller operations that are going on.
That's Oli Gordon, Executive Director of the NSWMA. Overseas news now. Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned on Monday, ending 15 years in power as thousands of protesters defied a military curfew and stormed her official residence. Shortly after local media showed the embattled leader boarding a military helicopter with her sister, Bangladesh's military chief announced plans to seek the president's guidance on forming an interim government. He promised that the military would stand down and launch an investigation into the deadly crackdowns that fueled outrage against the government. The protests began peacefully as frustrated students demanded an end to a quota system for government jobs, but the demonstrations morphed into an unprecedented challenge and uprising against Hasina and her ruling Awami League party. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:16.
Me, busy as usual, so I don't have no time for whole heap of paperwork. That's why I downloaded and signed up for my One JN Passport app. It's a whole new level of convenience and access to services within the JN Financial Group. Just a few taps on my smartphone and box. I can update my personal information, open a JN Bank savings account, and even apply for an unsecured loan. Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The One JN Passport app. JN will help you find a way.
Jamaica, it's here again. Phosphorage, a super summer sale. July 1 to August 31. Come get your wires, breakers, solar flood lamps, LED bulbs, ceiling fans, and so much more. Call 876-937-5099 or visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, Draxall, and Montego Bay. Up to 60% off the summer. Get your solar panels starting from $17,600. Come shop, come save at Phosphorage Super Summer Sale. July 1 to August 31. See you there at Phosphorage. Open Sundays.
Experience togetherness this Easter, embarking on a one-of-a-kind adults-only retreat in a world where swaying palms meet endless sunsets. All-inclusive indulgence awaits here at Hideaway at Royalton Blue Waters. Tap into an all-in luxury vacation experience when you book between April 1 to 30. Contact us. Dial 876-632-7401. That's 876-632-7401. Speak to your local sales agent today.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean on the streets of the corporate area. Good morning, Ludlow.
Oh, this is George. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
The traffic, depending on where you are. Now, those of you motorists who are coming from the Bull Bay area, 8 miles, Copacabana, Wiki, coming in towards 7 miles, the flow is steady. As you approach that roundabout, heading into Harbour View, it's still pretty good going. Yes, a few vehicles are making its way around in the vicinity of the roundabout. You're coming from the Port Totten Drive to take that roundabout again Harbour Drive, and then going further towards the roundabout, it is also steady. If you're along Sir Florida Glasspool Boulevard, it is also steady, no problem. Heading eastbound or if you're heading westbound, it's all clear at the moment. Just that when you go into other places, like up into the Harbour Tree area, you're going to have traffic coming through Harbour Tree via Constipation. But definitely, it's all clear on the eastern side. Going up Mountain View, northbound, clear. Coming down, southbound, clear. Going towards Stanton Terrace, no problem going across to Syria at this point in time. The traffic will be later as the morning progresses, but so far, so good in the areas that I've mentioned. So as usual, motorists, as you heard Mr. Dr. Jones say, drive properly, be careful. It's overtaking, believe me, as technical things, we have to be careful when you overtake. Judgment has to be there. And sometimes the other person don't really ease up, so it makes it much more difficult. So it's better you be patient, stay in your lane, and overtake when it is fair to do so. And speed it. Remember, 80 kilometers in most areas. All right? And a few, like over 110, going on certain parts of the highway. So be careful. Observe all of these things. As usual, at street spot, your safety is also George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts too. Up next, Front Page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
(7:21). Thank you so much for staying with us. We turn to the front page. I'm Said Bernard.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, the NRSC, Dr. Lucian Jones, is calling on Jamaicans to use the nation's roads safely. This comes in light of a fatal accident in Trelawney on Sunday morning that left 4 people dead. Dr. Jones says Sunday's accident has doubled the total number of road fatalities for August, just 4 days into the month.
Dr. Jones says accidents like these reinforce his call for a public education campaign in order to remind the nation's drivers how to use the roads safely. We are joined by the head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, ACP Gary McKenzie, to discuss further, alongside co-chair of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Dr. Jones. And good morning, ACP. Good morning. Good morning to your listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Let me start with you, ACP Mackenzie. What can you tell us now as it relates to what caused that accident on Sunday?
Well, definitively as to why the motor car actually ended colliding with the rear of the motor truck, it is not yet known. However, it is quite clear, and I actually visited the scene myself, that the truck was in the extreme left lane. It's a dual lane situation going up the hill, and the car collided with the rear of it, and the entire front section basically went under the rear of the truck. And so why that happened, it is still yet to be discovered. We are not certain as to what caused the driver to do that.
And ACP Mackenzie, is there any suggestion that the driver of the truck was at fault for this in any way?
Based on what we have gathered from our investigation so far, the truck was traveling in the extreme left lane along the Bracco Main Road, heading towards Montego Bay End. This, as I said, there are 2 lanes heading up the hill. So there is a slow-moving lane and there is another lane that will allow for vehicles to pass those vehicles in the slow-moving lane. And there is another lane heading in the opposite direction towards Kingston. What we have seen is that the motor car collided with the truck in the extreme left lane.
And that would be the slow-moving lane that the truck was in.
That is correct.
So, Dr. Jones, this doubles the death toll for August?
Actually, it's looking at the data this morning, it's actually now 9 persons have died in the month of August. One more died in St. Catherine yesterday. So we had 5 deaths yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Which is a total disaster. The bottom line tells me that, ACP has put his finger on the problem. We have far too many young men who are making bad decisions, wrong decisions, and killing themselves and killing other people. That's a noble issue. And the question is, how can we rescue these young men from making bad decisions? We don't have a lot of choices. Mr. Siag used to talk about pulling levers. We don't have many levers to pull. And one of the levers that we have placed, we have been gifted with to pull, is in Road Traffic Act with its many provisions. One thing which has worked well across the globe, across the world, is that if you drive carelessly, or if you don't use the Road Traffic Act as stipulated, then you are punished. And one of the things that we have been working on together with Minister Chang, who has been very instrumental in this, is having the police be able to write tickets electronically, which means that the whole process of consequence to your behavior has been speeded up. Not only speeded up, has been made much more efficient. So when you write a ticket now, it goes directly electronically to the tax office and to the courts. And then if you don't pay your fines, or you don't attend court, then a warrant is issued for your arrest. So there are mechanisms in place now. There are additional ones that we need to have sorted out. The whole demerit point system is, in a sense, in abeyance for the time being, and perhaps for good reason. And that's another consequence. If you don't obey the rules of the road, then you can have your license suspended. So there are a number of things which have come on board in recent times which can make a difference. We are pushing for, and the Minister of National Security is not in total agreement with the timing. I think he's in agreement with the method, but not the timing, to have cameras placed all over the country so that it can help the police in an enforcement drive. One of the things which came out yesterday also is the whole question of the calls as you try to get from ACP.
Right.
This driver was clearly distracted. To my recollection, there are no skid marks to indicate that he had applied his brakes. So he was distracted, whether he was under the influence of alcohol, whether he was using a cell phone, we don't know. But one of the challenges we have is to test the drivers, and we're trying to work with the Ministry of Health to get this sorted out, to find out really why are some of these, and it's a very bizarre crash yesterday. You're going up a hill. Why were you crashing into a truck, a slow-moving truck? Something catastrophic happened. And we need to get to the bottom of this. And this is a problem that you start a trend. The police does excellent work. 20 in July, almost half of the number last year. 26 in June. So you have a trend going down. And then also the blue.
Could you repeat those numbers? Could you repeat those numbers for me, Dr. Lucian? 20 in June, 26 in June, 20 in June.
20 in July, 26 in June, if I remember correctly. So that we had a trend, we had something going. And I made a comment about this. And then all of a sudden, this madness takes place. And 4 people at one time lose their lives. And for what reason?
Let me ask you this as well. As it relates to the numbers, Doc, where are we for the corresponding period last year. So up until this point,
well,
how much?
231. Actually, I made a mistake like yesterday when I said 236. It's not 230. It's 231 including the 5 yesterday.
So 231 including
to,
the 5 yesterday. That's for
yes.
2024 compared to last year at how much?
253.
How many? 253.
Yeah, so we are down 9%.
We're down 9%.
Yeah, but we are down 9% on the Madison 425 last year now, so don't get excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
We are down 9% on 425, so the baseline for last year is not a good year.
Not a good year at all. Well,
no.
Dr. Jones, I have to ask you this, but I'll take the answer after the break. Has there any study been done, any study as it relates to why the behavior is the way it is on the roads in order to come to an idea as to enforcement strategies and mitigation strategies in lessening or death or fatalities on our roads? We'll take it right after this break, Dr. Jones.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:30.
The best Burger King with the best tasting burger under the sun. You deserve the best. You are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome. That's how we serve it. Mama menu done your way. Drink after taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh fun. Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
Looking for your dream property? Look no further than Century 21 Heath-Ho Properties. Whether you're seeking a beachfront escape, a cozy family home, or a lucrative investment property, our expert agents are here to help you every step of the way. With Century 21, you get the experience and dedication of a global brand right here in the heart of paradise. Visit us at century21jm.com or call 876-969-2100 today. Century 21 Heath-Ho Properties. Everything real estate.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
7:32. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're speaking with Dr. Lucian Jones from the National Road Safety Council and, of course, ACP Gary Mackenzie, head of PSTEB, the branch of the police department, the constabulary force that is in charge of traffic and public safety. Dr. Jones, before the break, I'd asked you if there was any study done.
Yeah, I asked a very insightful question. Let me answer in two ways.
Mm-hmm.
One is in respect of an appeal. Many countries which have done well because their universities have done excellent research to show how you go about tackling the problem of road safety in their country. The second one is an announcement of sorts, but you've heard it already, and an appeal again for further help. Dr. Kerry Fletcher in St. Anne's Bay, orthopedic surgeon, has been doing excellent research in recent times. And has released two papers, one of which showed very clearly that, and this was done on motorcyclists, and this is self-reporting, persons who came through the casualty department at St. Anne's Bay Hospital. I think it was done 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That 30% of the cyclists who met in a crash And clearly these are non-fatal injuries. 30% of them admitted to having used both marijuana and alcohol shortly before crashing. The evidence, of course, is weighted more on the alcohol side, and certainly in terms of investigation, because there are methods of proving whether or not you are under the influence of alcohol. We don't have such evidence for ganja at this time, but that was clear evidence. Also, and I think the number ACP can help with this. The number that we have been working with both research and observation is about 80% of motorcycle drivers who met in a crash and died or were injured. About 8% of them were not wearing a helmet. So we have evidence, and there's also another research he did on pedestrians, and a significant number of them who were injured because a car hit them were found to have been using under the influence of alcohol. So there's some research. We need a lot more. But there's some research which is happening, and research has happened many years ago with another set of researchers. So that's some of the answer to you.
Before I come to ACP, you brought up pedestrians, and the numbers, as I last to call it, were not quite comfortable numbers, pretty high, one might say. What is the council doing as it relates to pedestrian safety? That remains a concern.
Yeah, that's a good question. So roughly 66% of those who die on our roads every year, 2/3, are what we call vulnerable road users. ACP just spoke about one, the motorcyclists. The pedestrians fall into that category, and also pedal cyclists. We have had challenges reducing the number of pedestrian fatalities over the years. We have huge challenge now with the motorcyclists. Thank God both of them are trending downwards at this point. But consistent over the years, the number of pedestrians would die, the number of motorcyclists would die. But the motorcycle has been in recent times. I'll give you a number. In 2012, when 260 people died, which was the record time, 41 motorcyclists died at that time. Last year, over 150 motorcyclists died. So the rate of increase for motorcycles has been huge. The number of pedestrians dying has been consistently high for a long time. What have we done? We have an action plan which we have submitted to the Prime Minister, which he has approved. And the action plan is being worked out through the Ministry of Transport now. Not satisfied with the rate of progress for lots of different reasons. But that's where it is at the point. There have been talks about whether we should have a jaywalking law. The pushback is that you can't have a jaywalking law unless you have the road furniture to allow people to walk on the road safely in terms of overhead crosses and stuff. So there are a number of things which we are working on. But the bottom line really is that if people continue to speed, if pedestrians don't cross the road carefully, and in many instances it's pedestrian fault rather than the driver fault, then they will continue to have these kind of injuries and crashes and fatalities.
ACP Mackenzie, in the instant case of this crash on Sunday, did you have an opportunity to identify the driver of the vehicle?
Well, we know who the driver is, and so we are doing some things around it. Of course, mention was made a while ago as to whether or not the driver had alcohol and so on. So we will be actually requesting the appropriate test to ascertain that.
And were you able to run this specific driver's license to suggest that he had any prior record in terms of poor accountability on the road?
Well, that is in progress. I do not have the data on that as yet, but we know that He's 59 years. He was 59 years old, and he has been driving as a public passenger vehicle operator for some time.
So this is not a youngster new to the road. This is someone who would have been in the business, so to speak, for quite a while.
That is so.
Because I'm trying to understand a scenario, because I still can't wrap my head around someone traveling up a mountain, so to speak, or up a hill, traveling in a slow lane behind a truck moving slowly, and you still manage to go at such a speed that you put the vehicle underneath the truck.
Right. So, you see, one of the things that we have been grappling with, and Dr. Jones mentioned it previously, the thing is that in terms of what we have been looking at in terms of research, and generally one of the things that we want to do is to adopt what is known as the safe system approach. And when we talk about safer people, it's about encouraging responsible driving and behavior of people we use the roads. And one of the things we have recognized when we look at the 9 fatalities so far for August, we recognize that all of these appear to have been as a result of human error. And when we have persons driving at fast speed and not being able to control the vehicle, and that is a problem. We have had at least 4 motorcyclists who have died in these numbers, and clearly it is as a result of people, our road users, not using the roadways properly.
And Dr. Jones, I see you calling for a public education campaign to remind the nation's drivers how to use the road safely. But certainly we've been doing this on and off for years now. At what point do you say enough is enough?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Angolan saying, or coming out of the war there, a luta continua. The struggle continues. It's a never-ending struggle. This thing is, you heard about Beyond the Boundary, and written by one of our famous poets. It's not only a road safety problem, It's a problem of aggression in the society. It's a problem of carelessness in the society generally. We don't care for one another. We do things to our women, we do things to our children, and we carry the same aggression and the same nonsense on the roads. So it's a societal problem which we have a particular burden to carry in terms of road safety. But we need a culture in this country where we care for each other more, where we are obedient to the rules of society and to moral rules and to the rules on the roads. And we have a set of people that block out. And it's not only even a motorcycle problem per se, in the sense that we have had a dramatic rise in the number of motorcyclists, but the kind of behavior that the motorcyclists are exhibiting. When you hear from ACP and others who interact and are on the spot, what these guys do, they take off they turn off their headlights at night because they are part of a crew, no headlight crew. They do all kind of madness driving through a stoplight without stopping because they are part of a crew. So there's a culture out there that we need to attend to, and it's not only a road safety culture. So in that context, public education is important, yes. But public education worldwide in terms of research has always to be joined with increased enforcement. So this is what we are, myself and ACP talk about all the time, and that's a meeting that we plan to have with, that's the source of the meeting, the context of the meeting we plan to have with the commissioner.
Yeah.
To try and see if we can collaborate more and drive down what has already started. What happened yesterday was a blip, It's not the trend for the year. It's a blip. It's an unfortunate blip and a disaster. But it's a blip.
ACP Mackenzie, Dr. Jones, I have to ask you gentlemen this, because the burden rests on your shoulders, and notwithstanding you gentlemen have done a superb job, being on the job and fighting this battle. But the ticketing obviously isn't curbing as much as we'd want it to curb. Public education, as much as it has been going on for time immemorial, is not bringing us to the level that we would say is satisfactory. I see you mentioned earlier, Dr. Jones, a plan that has been approved by the Prime Minister and Cabinet. Is there anything in that plan that goes beyond public education and the ticketing system that perhaps could be the clincher that could turn things around for us as it relates to road safety?
I'll let CP respond. One of the things in
Right.
is that there's no silver bullet, there's no one thing that you can do to change people's behavior, and that's what we're trying to do, to change behavior on the road. And human behavior, is multifactorial in terms of the end product. I think, and I would like to have more cameras on the road. I think would make a huge difference. Will it be a turning point? I don't know. I think it would make a big difference. The Ministry of National Security, differs. Not in terms of the efficiency, but in terms of the timing. He would like to have other things done first. So we are working through that particular problem, both privately and publicly. I think if we had more money to have a high-level public education campaign, working together with ACP's team to put in more cameras. And there's something called average speed over distance, which is intriguing for me. If you put up a camera at the vineyards and another one at Maypen, and if you reach there quicker than the time that the average distance indicates, then you get a ticket. Those things are simple things that we can put in. People are driving like crazy on these highways. When they pass you, and I'm on the highway regularly, your car literally shakes. It may not result in an accident today, but trust me, as day follows night, they're going to meet in a crash sooner or later. They're just driving too fast on the road.
ACP?
Right. So for me, it actually starts with how drivers prepare themselves to drive. And of course, the Road Traffic Act of 2018 and of course the regulations of 2022, it seeks to address a number of issues, especially as it relates to how people acquire driver's license. It would seem to me that persons have to be much more prepared and to understand that driving on the roadways, it is something much more than just getting into a vehicle, pressing an accelerator and steering. The question was asked as to what new can be done. I know that there are discussions in terms of educating our youngsters from even high school and so on about road safety and in particular road usage. And I believe that is where we need to intensify our efforts. We need to get our young people to understand that using the roadways, it is a combination of understanding vehicle, the environment, and themselves in terms of their competence and focus. And I believe if we spend a lot more time there to include public education, that we can make some inroads. In combination with that, not just prosecutions and arrests, but certainly the penalties in terms of persons not being able to have the privilege of driving is something that we have to intensify, because people should not see it as an opportunity that it just exists without responsibility. And I believe if we are able to drill that down into the minds of our people, then we can be more successful in terms of having safe usage of the road.
Is ACP, I'm going to ask you to hold the line after the break, because we need to get the traffic changes from you as it relates to Grand Gala. But before you go, Dr. Jones, I have to ask you this. Have to. There's a new moniker, a new phrase, a new saying, skate pon the toll, yeah? In your experience or from what you're seeing, and I have to get this answer as well from ACP, Do you think things like that have an effect on how road users use our main thoroughfares?
You mean in terms of driving on carpet?
In terms of what?
Driving on the carpet?
Yes, yeah, driving on the carpet, skate on the toll.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a change for the worse in road behavior?
Well,
you think it affects it?
Generally speaking, people tend to speed more on better roads, generally speaking. I don't know whether the new highways have made a difference. I know they are speeding, especially on the east-west highway and also on the north-south highway. So yes, there's evidence and there's reason to be apprehensive about that kind of attitude. I'll say one thing before you close. ACP mentioned it, and I introduced it by saying that there's no silver bullet in road safety. What we're trying to institute is the safe systems. Make sure you have safe roads, make sure you have safe vehicles, you have safe speeds, and safe road users, plus an efficient post-crash system. That's what's going to make a difference. We have to tackle all of them at the same time.
Absolutely. ACP, a quick answer for you on that one. Skate on the toll, you drive on the carpet.
From time to time, it is amazing how we come up with some terms because of style and fashion, some of which, are really detrimental to our existence and our lives. And that is one of the very unfortunate fashion that has been, that has come to the fore, where persons, say that they are skating on the toll. And the reason for it is that the toll roads are generally very good, and so people think that, yes, we should travel at a speed that we call skating. Now, that is dangerous, because what we have seen is that some of those persons who think that they can just go and skate on the toll, they have skated away their lives. And so it is very important that this kind of fashion is not brought to a level where it continues. We need to drive safely and properly on these roads.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Lucian Jones, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And ACP, begging you, hold the line for us. Let's get those traffic changes for our emancipation, Independence rather, Day tomorrow.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own, and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
7:51.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
30 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and 25 out west in Montego Bay.
Outperform, outlast. With top performance. Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61124. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Together we're our people standing strong. 3 million Jamaicans, let's work as one. Such a course and work with a plan. Proud and tall, let's make the whole world understand. Every Jamaican have the heart of a champion. Such a core, big up with champions. Watch my style, watch my skill, watch my flow. Standing out anywhere where we go. Many goals, many dreams, many strides. On the black, green and gold, and we pride. Proud and tall, let's make the whole world understand. We are strong, when we are one, Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success.
Jamaica Jamaica, it's here again. Phosphorage Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. Come get your wires, breakers, solar flood lamps, LED bulbs, ceiling fans, and so much more. Call 876-937-5099 or visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, Draxall, and Montego Bay. Up to 60% off this summer. Get your solar panels starting from $17,600. Come shop, come save at Phosphorage Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. See you there at Phosphorage, open Sundays.
Welcome back to the front page. It's the 60 seconds hosting of the Grand Gala tomorrow, and we will get some traffic updates from ACP Gary McKenzie as to what the situation will be like in terms of adjustments to facilitate the hosting of that ceremony. Can you give us that update now, ACP McKenzie?
Right. So we are happy to say that over the years we have had a plan that has worked, and come tomorrow it basically will be similar. And so it is generally in 3 phases. So before the event, and this is from about 12 midday or so, Arthur Wing Drive is generally one way towards the stadium. And the persons who intend to access the general parking area, they will have to turn left and go up to Stanton Terrace, down Mountain View, right back onto Arthur Wing Drive and into the general parking area. Only VIP vehicles will be allowed to access Roosevelt Avenue or Herb McKinley Drive from Stanton Terrace towards the stadium, and they will enter into E2. Only patrons going to the stadium will be allowed to enter Arthur Wing Drive from Mountain View, and there will be no throughway after we have set up those controls. So it is very important for persons to understand that. Also, we will only allow persons to go against traffic who have an emergency at the children's hospital or who live in the immediate vicinity. So what we encourage is that persons who really have no business to be on that thoroughfare, it is best to avoid it at that time. We have very important persons who would be identified, and they will be able to utilize Roosevelt Road and access E1 and so on. We have other dignitaries that will come via E10 and they will travel. That is Gate E10, and they will travel via Mountain View because they will have to enter through the McDonald Tunnel. It's important to understand that after the event, there will be a reversal in terms of the one-way traffic. So Arthur Wing Drive will be one-way going westerly instead of easterly from the gate E4 towards Samred Avenue. It is important to know that the police will be on spot, and they will be managing all these areas to ensure that persons are not confused and that they will be able to access the area smoothly. One thing that I have to say is that there will be no parking allowed on these roads. Arthur Wing Drive, Roosevelt Avenue, Herb McKinley, Latham Avenue, and so on. Because when we have parking on the roads, it will affect the flow of traffic. And so we are asking people not to do that, or else your vehicle will not be there when you return. We expect that buses will also, that is JUTC buses, will be utilizing the various thoroughfares to assist persons. And so these buses will enter Mountain View Avenue onto Arthur Wing Drive and set down patrons. They will also be allowed to access Arthur Wing Drive, follow the Statue Slip Road that connects Arthur Wing Drive with Herb McKinley Drive. So these changes will occur, and as I said before, they will be manned by the police. And so we expect that everything will go smoothly. as we know that the Grand Gala is usually a well-attended event.
Can you tell us more about the parking arrangements around that area? Will there be concerns in terms of capacity, in terms of the amount of people who will be showing up for the event? Will there be like a shuttle service to carry people away from certain areas towards the arena?
Well, usually the general car park, all those areas would be made accessible, as well as the other side of Arthurine Drive, which is on the northern side. And so usually, vehicles are able to be accommodated there. One of the things, though, we encourage is that people carpool. And as I said before, buses will be available to take persons there.
Okay, thank you so much, ACP Mackenzie. That is Gary Mackenzie. He's the head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
More after this.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8 o'clock.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
from the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside. It's across Jamaica this morning.
Time now to take you across Jamaica. 2024 Festival Queen Omalura Wilson is encouraging people from St. Elizabeth to keep hope alive as they navigate the post-burial circumstances in the parish. The parish of St. Elizabeth has been one of the most adversely affected by the Category 4 storm, with residents in several communities still without electricity and farmers reeling from the loss of crops and livestock. Two of the parish's renowned educational institutions, Monroe College and Hampton Schools, suffered severe structural damage due to the intensity of the winds. But Wilson, who was crowned on Saturday, is declaring that St. Elizabeth will rebound and continue to live up to its reputation of being the breadbasket of Jamaica.
We're not defined by circumstances. We have the potential to thrive and to build back from this situation that has left us in quite a devastating, manner, but we have the potential to rebuild. And so even though in this moment you are not at your highest point, it won't be long before you find your St. Elizabethan spirit, that breadbasket resilient, the spirit of the accompanied maroons rising and fueling you to know that we have the potential to build back our parish.
The Festival Queen competition is staged by the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, and is part of the calendar of activities to mark Jamaica's independence celebrations. Ms. Wilson says copying the crown for 2024 feels extra special given the impact of burial on St. Elizabeth.
I feel elated on the basis that this is a representation that even though we are flooding through this gloomy season, we are still hoping that, there's always a ray of light in all this that we're going through, all this type of adversity.
Omalura Wilson, Festival Queen 2024. Miss Manchester, Shanoya Houston was first runner-up, while Kingston and St. Andrews, Danger Harrison placed third. A 45-year-old spray and delivery man of Seaview Gardens, Kingston 11, has had several charges laid against him by the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, CISOCA. Charged with rape, grievous sexual assault, and the possession of a prohibited weapon is Donovan Brown, otherwise called Ping and Boom. Reports are that a young girl was working with Brown at his business establishment in 2022 when he requested sexual favors from her. She refused. Brown left and returned with a firearm. He pointed it at the girl, after which he sexually assaulted her. A report was made to the police and Brown was taken into custody. He was then charged after a question and answer session and after being pointed out in an identification parade. That's it for Across Jamaica.
Attention all commuters, your JUTC fares just got lower. Use your Smarter card today and pay only $50. Yes, only $50. Travel safe and hassle-free with the JUTC using your Smarter card. But wait, there's more. Get 3 free rides with your first Smarter card top-up before May 31. With your Smarter card, paying your fare is easier. Say goodbye to coins and hello to hassle-free travel. Don't miss this opportunity when you travel with the JUTC, your route to excellence. Conditions apply.
We all have a champion spirit, a uniquely Jamaican spirit. We think the unthinkable and reach for the unreachable. The steady pulse of greatness beats in us all. As powerful as we are, there comes a time when everybody needs a strength. Something to take you over that last hurdle and across the finish line. Your moment is now. Unstoppable with NCB.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091.
8:06. Thank you so much for staying with us. Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has resigned and fled the country as anti-government protesters storm her official residence in the capital of Dhaka. Student leaders have declared a campaign of civil disobedience to demand that the nation's long-serving leader step aside. On Sunday, at least 90 people were killed and hundreds more injured in clashes between police and tens of thousands of anti-government protesters. The UN has called for an end to the shocking violence and urged restraint from Bangladeshi Prime Minister, politicians and security forces. More in this report from the BBC.
The Bangladesh Prime Minister has resigned and left the country, her destination unknown. This comes as thousands of people have stormed the Prime Minister's residence. What we're going to do is join my colleague Azadeh Mashiri, who is talking to Samira Hussain.
On the ground. Look, ever since these protests broke out about a month ago, many foreign journalists have been trying to get into the country, but no one has really been able to get any visas to allow us to give us some of that first-hand accounts, which is why we're depending on a lot of freelance journalists that are in the country. Now, one person that the BBC is working with right now has said that really he can see lots of people celebrating on the streets, hugging, exchanging garlands, a real sense of a jovial kind of atmosphere. And that would lead people to believe that, in fact, Sheikh Hasina has resigned from her position. And there are many media reporting that she has actually already left the country. If that is, in fact, the case, it is a dramatic turn of events for Bangladesh and for the Prime Minister. Remember, Sheikh Hasina only got, there were elections, rather, in Bangladesh just earlier this year in January, in which Sheikh Hasina won her 4th term. But those elections, were mired in a lot of confusion because, or rather, there were questions about the election's legitimacy because the main opposition party did not contest in those elections, and there were crackdowns on other opposition members that were trying to campaign. And so I think there's just a lot of question about democracy and rule in Bangladesh for a very long time.
Well, to that point, Samira, I also want to confirm a BBC correspondent has now told us, one of our colleagues has told us that the Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, has resigned. Now, as a reminder for anyone who is joining us right now, we've been covering the protests in Bangladesh. The Prime Minister has now resigned and, according to reports, has fled the country. That's as protesters have stormed her residence. Now, as a reminder, student leaders have declared a campaign of civil disobedience, as they put it, to demand that Sheikh Hasina step aside. That seems to have been successful. And it's been at times violent. On Sunday, at least 90 people were killed and hundreds more injured in clashes between police and tens of thousands of anti-government protesters. And the death toll does include at least 13 police officers. Samira, could you just put this into context for us, given the hold that Sheikh Hasina has had on the country in the past? How big a moment this would be for the country?
Look, Sheikh Hasina's government, not just this particular term, but her last few terms, have been mired in controversy. Lots of members of the international community critical of her increasingly authoritarian regime. Now, remember, these particular protests started about a month ago, and originally it was student-led, and they were demanding an end to these quotas that exist for civil government jobs. And that was, in fact, overturned by the country's Supreme Court. But since then, we've seen that the protests have really swelled, and it became much more of a movement to try and remove Sheikh Hasina from power. It became very much an anti-government movement. Now, the ruling government, of course, has called the protesters terrorists and said that they're just operating on behalf of the opposition parties in the country. But the fact that we're seeing that Sheikh Hasina has actually resigned, has left her position, and is now going to another country, a safer country, in all likelihood, she's probably going to come here to India. I mean, this is a really dramatic move for Bangladesh. And now, of course, it begs the question of what's going to happen in terms of government. What is the leadership structure going to look like? And is this going to end up leaving some kind of power vacuum? Now it's going to be really interesting to see just what happens on the ground.
And Samira, just for context for our audiences, we're showing live pictures from one of the broadcasters that's showing some of the protests that have been taking place. It's from Channel 24. And we're seeing people celebrating, we're seeing people march. A few moments ago before, we were watching people storm the residence of Sheikh Hasina, as we mentioned earlier, the palace that she is said to have fled. Samira, could you remind us of the police response that had taken place? How does something like this succeed and happen? What happened to the military, for example? Because there were questions, weren't there, about whether the military would intervene against students?
Right, and there was no sense that the military was going to intervene, which perhaps could lead to questions about the loyalties of the military and whether that has in fact shifted. I mean, look, it's not just the student-led protests that are going to bring government down solely, at least perhaps in this situation, but it is probably going to be a confluence of events. You know, there is going to be questions about how much support that Sheikh Hasina had within her own government, and perhaps she was losing confidence there. The police crackdown on these student protests was really quite harsh, very severe. We saw that, some 300 people have died in over the last month or so. And that is worse than, that's the violence that they haven't seen since the country has fought its war of independence back in 1971. So this is a very significant moment in Bangladesh's politics and in the country.
That's the BBC on the situation in Bangladesh. I think this is one of those things that reminds me of how important it was for Jamaica to get its economic affairs in order. Because in Bangladesh, I don't know if anyone has realized, they brought up the matter of that quota system. It's a system that was put in place in order to essentially wall off, I think it's a third of government posts for specific categories such as minorities, former freedom fighters, etc. And it's done for the reason that a government position is sought after in Bangladesh because they tend to pay far higher than the private sector in that country. And on top of that, the country is now suffering from a youth unemployment rate that is almost 40%. And it shows how easily a country can essentially implode when it does not have its fiscal affairs in order.
Absolutely. Well, after the break, we take your calls.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled. A pure water would drink. The time by pure water is
15 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Dear residents, we understand that some of you are currently facing great inconvenience being without electricity. Due to the damage affecting your supply, the process to restore power will take some time. Rest assured, however, that we are doing our very best to ensure everyone is reconnected as quickly and as safely as possible. We kindly ask for your continued patience and understanding during this challenging time. JPS, committed to getting your service back as soon as possible.
Together we're all people standing strong. 3 million Jamaicans, let's work as one. Such a course and work with a plan. Proud and tall, let's make the whole world understand. Every Jamaican have the heart of a champion. Such a core, big up with champions. Watch my style, watch my skill, watch my flow. Standing out anywhere where we go. Many goals, many dreams, many strides. On the black, green and gold, and we pride. Proud and tall, let's make the whole world understand. We are strong when we are one. Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success.
It's 17 and we're taking your calls. The numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Cleveland, you're on the line.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, Sevan, you're doing well, Jan Saeed. I hope I called your name right.
Well, Cleveland, you're the only person that don't need to call it right, you know. You know that already.
Right.
Good morning, sir.
Morning to you both.
How you do?
May I give thanks. And happy for my people them in Paris.
That is good. That is good.
But you don't think yesterday the people who send them off, Make them stand up there too long.
Absolutely. I don't know why they had them there so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that affects civil, you know.
But of course. And Kishane as well. Your first big championship, your first final, and you're out there longer than usual or longer than you are supposed to be. Of course, the nerves.
You know if you have a bad start or what have you. You know.
Yeah, man. I saw a video from Steve Francis. GOAT coach, him and Glenn Mills. But he was in a video, I saw it this morning, and he was saying from the warm-up area to actually going on the track and everything, it's just a mess.
Yes,
he says
man.
he's been to 8 Olympics and this one is the worst.
Yes.
You know?
I think it affects a lot of them in the group. But I still believe Thompson win the race. I still believe so. And even the commentators, them, I remember said they're right down watching the running. You see? So from the moment they give the same mark to the both of them.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. As I understand it, he was first across the finish line, but his chest was not the first.
Yeah, I don't understand because my thing in Cleveland, and this is what I don't get. And again, I'll always start off by saying I am not a reservoir of knowledge when it comes to sports, but it just doesn't make any sense because you run race with your foot where you have to win with your torso.
Yeah. I don't understand this one at all.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But don't tell lies don't believe him win the race.
No, because in fact, in an interview, he said Cleveland that he went over to Kishane and said, "You got this one." Yeah? So him never believe him win either. Until, I guess, they saw the photo finish.
And the commentators keep saying it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know. They're not talking with no doubt in them.
Well, Cleveland, one of them things there. But, you know, from this he will rise.
Yeah.
It reminds me of
on his side.
Remind me of 2007 with Bolt.
Yeah. But I want to encourage the rest of them there that they try their best. And I want to say big up to Tia.
Right, absolutely.
We mustn't leave her out because she reached the final.
19-year-old.
Yes.
19.
To get to the final. Which is very important.
Absolutely.
We need to encourage her. And I hope, though, the authorities they try and keep closer to these people.
Absolutely.
You know, there's something missing and they have too much differences in things and so on. Maybe sometimes they're not even picking the right people them to in certain position and whatever. They need to get closer to them. And, you know, that we don't have controversy when to choose people and all them way there. You know, but I'm still enjoying the whole thing. And I'm enjoying Rainwalker report.
Yeah, man.
I always look forward to it. I want to tell you, I keep my radar on to listen when the race, you know, because, you know, it's slow on the TV most of the time.
Oh, so you want it live by the second.
Yes. But I wish them all the best. And all the best to you both. You're not doing well.
Take
all
care,
right?
Cleveland.
Enjoy your morning, Cleveland. Dwayne, morning.
Morning. How you doing?
Doing quite well. How about you, sir?
I'm not as good as you know.
Oh?
You sound happy this morning, man.
I sound happy this morning.
The motor you sound happy, man, nationwide.
Yeah.
After you hinge upon the city of love. Which I don't call it city of love, you know, I call it city of hate because something with that country did in the past. You know, I know them become now the city of love.
Marketing, marketing.
When you read the history, it's not something that you want to remember. You made a parallel this morning with a guy, the civil and Thompson. But after you do it, you talk about what happened in 2007 with Bolt. But maybe you forgot to say that. Remember that we have Usain, we have Blake, and we have Usain Bolt, and at this time now we have 2 athletes. I'm matter of fact 3. Then now we have 2. That was us waiting in the wings to take over.
We have Akeem Blake as well, man. 3. You're right.
Yeah. I think Akeem Blake just wants to strengthen, you know.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Anytime you man civil put on look weight for the show, I done it, you know. done it done. But I think that France this year, the city of love, as your friend said in the intro. I don't think that's something we want to remember though. There's too much injury and disappointment. I think that we thought that we'd have moved from 87 to 100 medal with ease, and it seems like we're not even going to get close to that. So. But we have done good in the past, so we'll have the down time and the up time. I don't think we can beat ourselves. But we still have to know that while we were not doing great, the Caribbean was doing fairly well. So we still don't lose to the Caribbean people. And I do you remember Carl Lewis making a statement in this time? I need to Google and find it. When he was making, I don't remember the comments that he made, but he was saying something not so nice about Caribbean people. But I was saying yesterday on my post that, wonder what he's saying now to see that Caribbean people are coming up from so much. So thinking that maybe just America alone should have, being up there, and the Caribbean people are doing so well in the sports, So, hello?
We're hearing you.
Are you hearing me? I don't respond, man. Why you don't respond? You know, I'm responding. So, like, I'm...
No, it's rude to interrupt, is it not?
Yeah. Okay.
You're making your point, and we're allowing you to make your point.
At the time, Carl Lewis was making some remark because we're doing fairly great when Raymond Stewart and all these men were running. We're not doing that great race at the time, but like Merlin, I remember the race that you could remember Merlin and Gail Devers were coming to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
And many people today believe that Merlin won. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Many people today believe that Merlin actually won that race. The Gail Devers. All right. I just want to shoot to one more point. Somebody gave me a call on the weekend. I was telling me about Bahamas, Nassau, where they're having a problem now with a lot of Jamaicans are being treated so bad in that country. And I'm just saying that the amount of reports I've been getting, I'm just saying that is the government of Jamaica don't know these things. When you go to the immigration, they're treating you so bad. And the latest one that I heard is that they were saying that after the guy landed, they had him in the immigration area for a long period of time. Wanted to send him back to Jamaica. Eventually, when they decided to send him back to Jamaica, the plane left. And they want to put him on a detention. And he said, I have not gone to jail in all my life. Why you want to put me in? I'm almost 50-year-old now. And they had him there for a while, and then when they did, they took him on their mouth, drag him, and take him to the detention center. And somehow somebody knew him. And somehow they make a call, and somebody knew him, and eventually he was cleared. And everything was okay. Then I'm just saying that I know that Barbados, especially Trinidad, in this country, when our people go to their country, right, there's a problem in we getting a stay, or getting to go through. And when they come to our country, even the girl that won yesterday can talk about how he come to Jamaica and was treated good. Why are we so treated bad in when we go to this Caribbean country? Are we talking about CARICOM? CARICOM what? What are we carrying my brothers? What we are CARICOM?
And all I can say is I hope that man, when he returns to Jamaica, well, he doesn't have to wait to return. But I hope he reports it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
There's another one that I got on my phone, and the lady was there complaining how she was treated up till today. No matter what you do, she cannot get any redress. Even when they go and speak to the Jamaican country, they're not getting any redress. So I'm saying, what is happening? Why are we treated so bad? And when these people come to Jamaica, Trinidad, all of these Barbados, they can't treat. I went on many courses, with Barbados and Trinidad, and recognize that when we are in these training courses, we recognize that the Barbadians believe that they are the best of the Caribbean in Trinidad. Right? I want to know why we sit back and make. I remember one time our minister did send, I think some parties was there or something like that, and something happened and they never want to clear it. And I think it was smooth and some of them make some statement and eventually it was clear. They treat us so bad. Why? Why we do them?
You could sense jealousy.
Why we do them? Why don't you get me so?
We can only hope that they report it, yeah?
Children and babies people up there. Eh? So why we are Jamaica? Look here, man. As you know, me vex, you know.
Understandably.
Eh? Look what them in Jamaica. The girl win yesterday. And she could have big up Jamaica. Because of what Jamaica have done for her. What the Caribbean people eat, the Trinidad and Barbados people eat us for. What they eat with for? What we do them?
Friend, I'm hearing that we have more callers on the line, yeah? So we have to run. But I hope that those people do report it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
I don't get the information and get the thing and call you. And I can give you the information for you to check it out for me. I get the proper information and I can give you and make it true. You know that's true because I used to work a place where when the meetings are called, recognize that a lot of our flights we're headed back to Jamaica. Many people on the flight come back to Jamaica when we go to the meetings.
Alright, sir. We have to go. Alright, but we'll talk. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, gentlemen. Blessed New Year, Independence tomorrow when it comes to you guys.
Thank you.
I'm looking at for, moving forward, how serious are we going to be taking this constitutional reform thing? Because I don't know if we're really going to get anywhere, or if the country on a whole fully motivated to push these guys to get it done, I don't know.
The government is moving forward, but I mean, as to how realistic the prospects of that getting over the finish line at this point in time, probably not so much.
Yes, but I'm seeing where the opposition have been that kind of interest. It's very unfortunate. Over the years, I have, was reviewing some of these festival songs, and my favorite would have been I'm a Born Jamaican, But this one that called Cherry O Baby, I just cannot understand how that song become a festival song, much more to be a winner. I don't get it up to this day, well, you guys were too young to know about that, right?
I know the song, but I didn't know it was a festival song.
Yes, it was one of the winners. Some years ago, way back in the early 2000s, when Princess Diana died, I visited Paris and I left a Jamaican tent and I noticed a Jamaican was here, So I'm quite disappointed with some of how the Olympics is going, as a matter of fact. And plus, at one time the swimming was a problem, saying the river come down. So most countries use a pool, right? Isn't that so? Because I don't know, but not impressed.
For that specific event, it's done in an open river or open setting, not exactly an Olympic pool. They do have an Olympic swimming pool, but for that specific event that they were speaking about, it is done in that kind of open air setting.
But yesterday, even the commentator was saying that our Jamaican boy won the 100 meter. It looked as if he won, but then again, if both people have the same time, how are you gonna have a winner?
Well, they have the same
second time, but you have the millionth of a second, the thousandth of a second.
That's something that I don't really buy,
Well, I mean, I buy it too, but them say I saw the sport come a boss. Yeah, so we just have to work with it. Because I don't know.
Unfortunate,
as I made the joke, I said, race run with foot, but you have to win with your chest or your torso.
Yes.
Boy, it not add up to me. But they say that's how the sport goes.
That's where the cookie crumbles. All right, gentlemen, have a blessed morning, and as I said, all the best for the independence.
Yeah, man. Good. Thank you. Same to you.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:32.
Get ready for KB's Grand Back to School Fair and Concert on Saturday, August 10, 2024 at 31 East behind Portmore Town Centre. Enjoy special discounts on books and back to school supplies.
The Time by Kingston Bookshop, celebrating our stories, inspiring yours, is
8:32.
Everything you do with your JN Bank Visa credit card could be a win for you. Go shop win, dine win, travel win, or pay win bills with your JN Bank Visa credit card. Every time your purchases total $40,000 using your JN Visa credit card, you earn an entry to win. Every purchase you make adds up. Win weekly summer watch party kits of coolers and grocery vouchers so you don't miss the runnings. Or be one of 2 monthly winners of $100,000 cash. Don't have a JN Visa credit card? It's easy. Visit jnbank.com today. Win with your JN Bank Visa credit card. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Jamaica, it's here again. Fosseridge Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. Come get your wires, breakers, solar flood lamps, LED bulbs, ceiling fans, and so much more. Call 876-937-5099 or visit us in Kingston, Mandeville, Draxall, and Montego Bay. Up to 60% off the summer. Get your solar panels starting from $17,600. Come shop, come save at Fosseridge Super Summer Sale, July 1 to August 31. See you there at Fosseridge. Open Sundays.
(8:34) and we're still taking your calls. The numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Stefan, you're on the line.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen. Not staying long, just have a concern here. I know the powers that be listen to your program, so I just want to find out what is happening with the Spark program.
Which aspect of it?
In terms of, I know they were doing consultations, but because of the weather, the storm that we had, Hurricane Beryl, I know that they were put off, for obvious reasons, of course. Just wondering if the government can provide an update as to when they're planning to restart the consultations, if they're going to be, because I know a lot of persons have vested interest in this program and would like to know what is happening where that is concerned.
To the best of my knowledge, the consultations should be ongoing. They may have been interrupted, so to speak, in some areas because of the passage of the storm, but they were in the process.
Yeah, man, I know they were
and
ongoing.
Procurement should be wrapped up very soon as well.
Sorry?
And procurement should be wrapped up very soon as well. I think the rollout was September, thereabouts.
Yes.
Yeah, so by next month you should start seeing the rollout of the program.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's no consultation taking place right now, because I think they had gone something like 20 or 30 constituencies, and there were still others to go. So I'm saying I would just like an update as to when the consultations would begin.
But that's not a central government. The consultations are supposed to be done by the MP for the area specifically, so that's not a central government issue. So where are you and who's your MP?
I think it's East Central, Mr. Terry Long. Mr. Terry Long would be the MP for that area. St. Catherine, East Central St. Catherine, I believe.
Oh, okay. So I think the best person is to call the constituency office of the MP and ask where they are in terms of the consultations. I'd be surprised if Mr. Terry Long hasn't done his already. But
well, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. It could be, but as I said, I haven't seen or heard anything. All right, gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Good. Who's next? Good morning, Alric.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alric.
Oh, no, do.
About, how you do?
But get back light finally.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. You must be a man.
The Olympics. I didn't like the result of the 100 meters final. What I thought our guy had won, but he took it gracefully and he accepted defeat. But I just can't see our task to make a win. I can't say that. And if they run the same time, I heard Judge saying that it come down to something when we can understand the match. But I think they should have given both of them gold medal then. I think it's a tough decision.
The things are too,
guys.
but
I don't know about you. Counsel, you guys diplomatic, so you can say it.
When was the last time we had a track event that had a double gold awarded. I know it has happened before, but I can't recall when.
But remember when our girls run 1, 2, 3, they couldn't split the second and third, so they gave us. You remember that 100-meter final with the girls? All Jamaicans at an Olympic game. So why they couldn't share the gold medal with Mr. Thompson and Mr. Lyles?
Michelle, our super producer, is telling me in my ears that it has happened in another sport, the high jump, where Qatar and Italy shared the gold medal in that sport. I don't know if it's ever happened in track in track itself, in a race.
Happened in track.
You've shared a
silver medal.
Yes, man.
A tied silver medal. I recall that now.
So then should I start up the gold one too?
No, but if you can discern the winner down to the thousandth of a second, you might as well discern the winner.
Crazy stuff. Well, Eric, I understand your pain, yes? I understand your pain, and I share it too.
But let me address Siobhan. Siobhan, down to the little bit of something when me hear Jaja talk about, me can't call it.
The thousandth of a second.
Yeah, because how do you really measure that?
I don't make any sense of that and thing. But anyway, I'm still congratulating our athletes. They have been doing well. And you guys notice how many of the big guns from not even Jamaica but other countries pulling out of their events and not performing well?
Yes, Zarnel Hughes just pulled out of the 200 meters. Just pulled out of the 200 meters.
Who just pulled out?
Zarnel Hughes.
What you say? And this morning the lady from the Bahamas, the defending Olympic champion, she didn't even run 100 meters.
Yeah.
And so
Shawnee Miller will go.
Weebo.
Shawnee Weebo.
Yes. So, and before I go, Council, you call that result again, right, on Tuesday?
Of course.
I was congratulated because...
Thank you, good sir.
When they went to London, you told me what was going to happen, and then you called it right Tuesday, man. Congratulations, man. You're on the ball.
I try to be.
All right, you guys have a good day.
For people like you.
All right, guys.
Take care, Alric. Good. Glad him get back light, you know. So him can charge up him phone now. Who's next? I drink ice water. Alright, now easy at all.
I hear that was quite the thing after Gilbert, ice water was
yes. So I don't remember who was telling me the story, but I was talking to George about it and Cliff about it, and they were telling me that after Gilbert, they used to marry the ice. Literally marry the ice with other things. So if you want to buy ice, you have to buy something else. You know, don't forget the liquor ice. That's crazy. And fight back over ice. I think George was telling me the story as well. Say, if you did have ice, I used to sell ice at them time there. You were the man. You were the man. The money were alone where you make. You were the man. You decide who get for drink cold water, who get not to drink cold water. Boy, I'm glad we don't have to see those days now. Yeah, happy about that, and I hope the people of St. Elizabeth, they're getting their electricity. And we continue to implore JPS to get the business done in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, St. Trelawney out there to get the business done so that the people can be fully restored with their electricity.
Remind me again, what was the ultimatum they were given August 12th? I believe it was.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. But they told me last week on the Consumer Hour that 97% of customers have been restored with electricity. So that leaves 3%. But then when persons started to call in and note on the YouTube, the amount of persons, or communities rather, who are without electricity, I really wondered if I saw the 3% big, you know? So I'm hoping that 3% has been slashed significantly, because to go without light is not a nice thing, especially in this heat.
Precisely.
Can you imagine? It's 32 degrees in Kingston, 30 in Montego Bay,
and it's still the early morning.
And it's 8:42 in the morning. The sun isn't ripe as yet. You can imagine the 10 o'clock sun.
I don't know how we're going to manage it, and it's only set to get worse as the years go by. I think at some point, I think air conditioning is going to be a mandatory requirement when building a house, as it is going to be required as part of the building plan. That and a water tank.
And a water tank. That would make sense. That would make sense because this heat, Siobhan, is something you don't want to remember. Put it that way. You literally shower and you step out of the shower and you're sweating. It's like you never bathe. You have to go back in again. No, man, it's ridiculous, Siobhan. You shower and as you step out, you have to wonder if you did bathe. Yeah, you're dry and you're still wet.
And I don't know how you survive in the evenings, because how do you get a good night's sleep when by the time you're trying to close your eyes, the sweat is rolling down?
Siobhan, let me tell you this. I used to cannot sleep without sheet. I used to have to be covered from head to toe. I don't know why, but I just have to cover from head to toe for fall asleep. I have now learned to sleep without sheet. That's how bad it is. I have learned. Unless AC on, I can't sleep with sheet. Because it's that bad. And you don't want your hand touch your other hand. You don't want your foot touch your other foot. Because you don't want the heat. You just need to lie down so that the breeze can pass through. Yeah? It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. We're calling... I said this, people always tweet on social media and say they're calling on the government to do something about the heat. They say both parties must work together to do something about the heat because this is unbearable. It is seriously unbearable though.
But the biggest problem again is just the cost of electricity in Jamaica. I think more people would adopt using air conditioning if the cost of electricity wasn't so horrendous.
Yeah. Well, we have to look now to renewable energy, so your solar panels. A lot of homes are coming off the grid, so to speak.
I'm looking forward more to this exploration of nuclear energy, because if you compare the states and countries that have nuclear energy versus those that do not, the cost of electricity is significantly cheaper when you use nuclear energy. But then people worry about the potential risks. But most of those risks have been eliminated since was it the 2007 Fukushima Daiichi meltdown? I think it was 2007. Was it 2007?
I don't remember, honestly. You're more likely to remember the year that I...
Well, since event...
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
But since that event, the cost of nuclear energy and the safety of nuclear energy has gone up, and the cost has gone dramatically down.
Absolutely. You're right. Anyways, boy, Lily White, I can't take a joke. No, sir. Anyways, time for the birthdays.
This could be your year to build with an NHT loan. Find out more at nht.gov.jm. The time by NHT is
8:46.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Loving can hurt. Loving can hurt sometimes, but it's the only thing that I know. When it gets hard, you know it can get hard sometimes. It is the only thing that makes us feel alive. Keep this love in a photograph. We make these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, hearts are never broken, and time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Wait for me to come home. Loving can heal. Loving can mend your soul. And it's the only thing that us when we die. Keep this love in its photograph. We made these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, hearts were never broken, time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. And if you hurt me, that's okay, baby. Only words bleed inside these pages. You just hold me. I won't ever let you go. Wait for me to come home. Wait for me to come home.
It's time for your birthdays. Happy birthday to Keisha Edwards. Happy birthday, Molly Singh. Happy birthday to Nadisha Channel, to Kelly Henry, Shanette Clark, Althea Sinclair. Happy birthday to Kenroy Mowat, Fanso Wilson, and Naomi Cummings. Yeah, those are our Facebook peeps, and we're wishing them a happy birthday. And of course, feel free to put your birthdays in the chat. Big up Alison Mays. Her birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday belatedly, Alison. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, and if there are any other birthdays, feel free. So happy birthday to Nicole Graham. Those greetings coming from Marlene Henry. Happy birthday, Nicole Graham from Exchange in St. Elizabeth. Marlene says, enough love, my friend. So happy birthday, Nicole.
I swear it will get easier. Remember that with every piece of you. And it's the only thing we take with us when we die. We keep this love in its photograph. We made these memories for ourselves.
So we won't be here tomorrow morning because it's our beloved Independence Day. So happy birthday to Ruth Oshing, Sean Edwards, Patrick Chief Cullum. Yeah, those are some of our birthdays for tomorrow on Independence Day. Happy birthday to you all when it comes. Yes, Marley, Messiah Exchange Center, and would they say something otherwise? But yeah, big up your friend Nicole from Exchange Center and happy birthday to her. Yeah, today would be your mom's birthday, Melissa. Our sincere condolences, but certainly, as you say, the Lord knows best. Happy belated birthday to Noda Blair. Those greetings coming from Eric Blair. And happy birthday to the sister of Megan Patterson. Her name is Autherine Forbes. Happy birthday to you, Autherine. Those greetings coming from your sister Megan. Happy birthday to CJ Martinez's cousin Shanice. Hope you have a good one. And of course, those seem to be all our birthdays tomorrow, but most importantly, happy birthday to an independent Jamaica tomorrow.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
I will always believe in the black, the green, the gold I
Well, that's all the time we have with you this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. Special thanks to our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, to the man behind the controls, the musical maestro, Jermaine King, and of course, to you, our sponsors, our viewers, all of you who've made this show possible. Special thanks as well to Kimo and Thompson in the newsroom, and to our deputy executive producer, George Davis. I'm Saeed Bernard.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.